Greetings, everyone. We love you all. We're Scorch. Thank you for being here with us right now. You're in the right place. This information may seem right out there, like it must be. This is time, is it not, for us to have that conversation? See, due to the fact that most people's introduction to God was via religion, they associate what they read in the Bible with any concept of divinity. Thus, they remove themselves from experiencing the whole thing because divine is neither angry, jealous, or confused about anything. You got humans who think that the God of the universe is angry. Are the clouds angry when they make lightning and thunder? The way humans think is so low, so primitive that we all need to like take a fucking break and think about it. Because there's something such a thing called constructive interference and destructive interference. People need to learn more so they can have a better understanding of the world they're living in. You can't just sit on your and just wake up and just believe anything you read in the book or just go with something that seems socially accepted but yet it's dysfunctional to your own personal reality. There have to be harmony with your mind, your heart, your spirit. They may look like different things, but they're all one and the same thing. And we'll share this from our own experience, personal experience. You see, growing up, I wasn't one to believe in this idea of religion. When the first day I heard about an angry, jealous God, that was, I think I told the Jehovah Witness guys to leave my house or something like that. And my parents probably looked at me weird, like, you know, read your Bible and shit. But it was all filled with bullocks, so many dumb, dumb, dumb theories, and you have billions of people believing it. Why do you believe in the idea of anger? You associate anger and God. God doesn't need to be angry to do anything. Anything. We don't need to be angry to do anything at all. Anger is a symptom of dysfunction when it is not used as a defense mechanism. Because naturally, anger is an intimidation mechanism. Animals do it also. But when you use that anger, you're now, you're becoming something less than yourself, and you then associate that with God. That has there's no common ground there. Because you need to look at the whole thing and not the dysfunction of it. It's like looking at yourself in a dirty mirror and then assuming and believing that what you're seeing in that mirror is you, including with all the dust and the spurks. Like, that is not you. You need to clean that mirror and take a second look. Otherwise, you believing that you are the dysfunction that you see, you will keep recycling that dysfunction because the mind doesn't know the difference between the internal reality and the external reality. This is actually your superpower, but because of the dysfunctional society that humans live in, that has been used to their own disadvantage, and yet no one can see it. They're still parading a primitive ideology that states that the height of consciousness is anger, jealousy, and confusion. My personal experience, I did not see any ghosts. I did not see any angel just pop up to me and say, "Hey, my son, do not be afraid." That didn't happen. That wasn't my experience. Neither am I saying that people who had this experience, I'm not denoting their own experience. I'm just coming out straight like a realist and being very, very straightforward with the public because there are most people who are very logical, and you must understand that the logical aspect of reality and the non-logical aspect of reality are one and the same thing. It just depends on how you're looking at it at that time. There is no confusion, there is no separation. However, humans are primates if in relation to the quantumness of consciousness. In other words, you have a fractal of consciousness. You're not even experiencing the whole thing. Yet you look at humans in their primate state, their primordial state of consciousness, claim to know everything, claim to be the angriest, claim to be the brightest, claim to be the wickedest, claim to be everything that they read from social construct or in the book. You're idolizing social constructs. and informations that you read in a book as the whole thing. Thus, removing yourself from experiencing, from even getting any chance to experience it, because the moment you say that you've experienced all of the oneness and the beautifulness and the wholeness of the universe, like we are saying, and if you haven't experienced it, you're removing yourself from it because once again, the mind doesn't know the difference between the internal reality and the external reality. So if you have not experienced the unity consciousness, saying that you have is you automatically removing yourself from experiencing the most benevolent, ecstatic, most amazing, wholesome feeling in the whole universe. Omnipotent, omniscient, omnis omnipresent. I would just like to call it omni-magnificent because it feels so rich, so real. It's a personal experience. There are no words for it. There's nothing in the Bible about it. There's no freaking way to explain this thing without personal experience. So until you experience it, you don't have any fucking idea what God is, what the universe is, what space is, or what consciousness is, because you are working with a fractal of consciousness, less than 1% of the visible light spectrum. Your mind is not even open enough to accommodate your mammalian brain. You're still using your reptilian brain in fight or flight mode. And in that lowest state of consciousness, the humans have assumed that, oh, this is God, and this is what happens when God do this. Oh, this is what happens when certain things happen is because of the jealousy that God felt. Meanwhile, it's the jealousy that they're translating with their own filters based on the memory and social construct of their own personal experience, either in present lifetime or in the past lifetime, or whatever fucking timeline these humans are. It's important that you understand that you are still in your baby state. This is why we're using the word primates. Humans are primates in the scope of the whole sum of consciousness. If we have to bring consciousness to the room right now, you will not even see humans because of how tiny you are. Measure the amount of the electromagnetic radioactivity that you can perceive with your five senses or your four senses or your six senses. Use that and measure what you do not see in scope of your mental faculty. In other words, the 99.3% of the visible light spectrum that you are not seeing with your eyes are also the ratio of the quality of consciousness that your brain cannot hold yet. So it's not that you are not even seeing it, it's that you are not perceiving it because your mind isn't ready. And what you also need to understand is that there's no amount of reading book or no amount of there's no kinetic exercise that you have to do to achieve this. Because the moment you say that you do not have it, you've removed yourself from it. The moment that you're chasing it, you've removed yourself from it because in that moment you're saying that you do not have it at that time. So how do you attain something that you cannot search for? You must attract it, is it not? In other words, you have to become a vibrational match to that energy of that oneness. It's that simple. Can you live in your own heart with the unity of everything else in the entire cosmos, including that which you know and that which you are yet to perceive? Can you be in love with everything in the universe? It's that simple. And the moment you do it, it's automatic. And the reason it's this simple for Trace, for me, is because I grew up not giving a fuck about religion. At the age of 8, I just didn't care. I'm like, whoever this God is, he must be a fucking lunatic or a psychopath, and I don't want to have anything to do with such people. I was fucking 7 years old or 8 years old when I said that to myself, and that was it. Since then, I've just been going around in the world, learning things for myself. And from that period of experience, many amazing things happen, even perceiving people's thoughts, time travel, so many things that if we speak about, people will say, oh, you're crazy, because they are the ones who are crazy, perceiving something magnificent in their own lower dimensions, because that's the only way they can perceive it, because that's what they're matched to. Because when you're matched to a higher energy, you're matched to the unity of consciousness, you're matched to loving everything that exists in existence and things that are yet to exist. If you can put yourself in a vibrational match to that frequency, you are God in every sense. They are not removed from it. This is not a scope whereby one angel will say, hey, my son, fuck all that shit. Personally, because I didn't have that experience. Because that experience keeps humans dependent on something to reach out to, something to save them. Like they must see this angel to appear first before they know that, okay, oh, shit just got real. Like, then how can you be sure? Because in the astral realm, anybody can look like anything. Even there are people who work in your government who use psychotherapy and remote viewing to go and do some psycho operation and espionage. They call them psychnauts because they are not astronauts. Those ones are the ones who travel through stars. This one, they're traveling through psyche. Psychonauts. How many people are aware of that? How many people are aware about the physics, quantum dynamics, very little things that people think are complex are not? Your mind is just primitive. So, dear humans, catch a break, relax, accept what is, and embrace what will become. Don't close yourself from divine.